Home is a really weird concept for me. I have, I guess, 3 houses. The one I'm filming in now, which is so that I can be close to where they work. The one in England, which is where I stay when I'm not at school and not here. And the one which is school, which isn't technically my house, but it's where I live the majority of my time. But although I live in all 3 of these places, I wouldn't define any of them as home. Home, if we're thinking about it in the case of literally just the noun home, is defined as a place where one lives permanently. I don't have a place like that. I don't have a permanent living space because I'm constantly changing it. In which case you could argue that I don't have a home, which most of the time, if you ask me, I would agree with. When I talk to people about the fact that I don't feel like I have a home, people always say, but remember, home is where the heart is. And that's got a very nice sentiment, and it's very sweet. But I think it's kind of incorrect for 2 reasons. Reason 1 is that it implies that you have home literally where your heart is, and you carry your heart in muscle and bone in your chest. So it's like saying that if I went to Sainsbury's, I could just like start a home in the frozen section because home is where my heart is and my heart is in the frozen section. And the second, if we're still going by the original definition of home, is that home is where your heart is kind of says that wherever you're comfortable or wherever you love is home, and that completely defies the idea of the definition that we were just given, because you can live permanently in a place that you loathe and that you hate and that you don't like anyone there. It doesn't work that way. However, if I can get this all the way over here we go. A little trip to Wikipedia, which often helps me, gave me another definition of home, which said, a geographical location, whether it be suburb, town, city or country, in which a person grew up or feels they belong, which I think is quite nice. That definition implies that anywhere you've grown up or you feel that you are a part of can be your home. And I've grown up in plenty of houses, in plenty of countries, in plenty of towns. And that kind of is nice to think that by definition all of those places could be considered my home because they're all places I grew up. Using this definition, I also quite like how home is where you belong, because it's kind of nice to think that you're not particularly drawn to an area because you're tied to it. You can be taken to an area and call it home because you feel more a part of it. There's the ongoing debate between whether where you live is a house or a home. It implies that when you move into a house, which at the time when you move in is just a normal building or a normal plot of land, and you fill it with your personality and your ideas and your thoughts and your possessions, and over time it becomes a home, and that gives home a kind of magical, mystical feel to it. Just like how animals mark their territory when they find somewhere they like, humans fill it with their things to mark that it's theirs and to create a home, which is a really odd and animalistic thing to do, I think. I have to admit it's a very nice sentiment that we fill everything with our thoughts and memories and possessions and it becomes like us. But I've filled many houses with many memories and many thoughts, and not many of them have felt like home. So I guess what I'm saying, in my opinion, home can be defined as whatever you want it to be. Because home can be defined and redefined as much as you want, and someone else is always going to have a different opinion as to what home means to you and how you can make a house a home. Home is really weird. Obviously, the way I've talked about it today is kind of just from what I know from others. I've never really felt like I've had a home, so the idea of home is a really odd thing for me to discuss. So everything I've said might be completely different to how other people feel about home, but that's fine. It's fine for me not to, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how I am right now, where I live, how I live. As you weren't here last week, I'd like to just continue the theme I gave you last week over onto this week and let it roll over. So I'd still really like you to talk about poetry because I still really liked you reading the Bath poem in your introduction video.